because this is what he does. He puts his hands down, he puts them together, he like channels his chakras, and he leans forward.
Yeah.
You can't do that against Alex
Yeah.
Pereira and expect to survive. How you doing, fight fans? It's Timmy Schutz with Inside Fighting, joined again by Jesse Rowe. We're here interested in winning you some money. We're here to watch UFC 295 this weekend. But first, here's a word from our friends over at DraftKings.
In case you guys haven't heard, Inside Fighting is now brought to you by DraftKings. We have a massive fight live from New York this weekend for the vacant light heavyweight title. Two monsters going at it. I don't know who you're taking. I know who I'm taking. Place your bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use our code.
Yeah, and we've partnered up with DraftKings to bring you all an exciting new offer. Right now, new customers who use promo code INSIDEFIGHTING and bet just $5 on any one of this weekend's fights will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's right. All you got to do, use promo code INSIDEFIGHTING, bet $5 in any one of the fights this weekend, and you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same fight parlays for a chance at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same fight, including number of rounds, method of victory, and you got a chance of making more on your bets.
DraftKings is the only place where you can do the same fight parlay, right?
The only place.
If sports betting's not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can get in on the action playing DraftKings Daily Fantasy. Just download it, play some fantasy action, you'll be good.
That's right. DraftKings is offering huge UFC contests this weekend with massive cash prizes up for grabs. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use promo code INSIDEFIGHTING and bet just $5 on any one of the fights this weekend get those $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Huge.
$5. $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you got to do is use promo code INSIDEFIGHTING.
We've got two really awesome championship fights. It's not the fight that we were expecting. You know, it was supposed to be John Jones or Stipe Miocic, but some people believe that the card is even better now. The two championship fights are Tom Aspinall versus Sergei Pavlovich and Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. Man, these are two crazy championship fights. So let's jump right into it. The co-main event, we'll start with that. Tom Aspinall, he is 13-3 and a minus 118 on the money line, taking on Sergei Pavlovich, who is 18-1, who is a minus 102 on the money line. These guys are the next wave of heavyweights. I feel like we're in a new era of heavyweight. We have a lot of young, talented guys. You know, heavyweights traditionally, the big boppers, the guys who might not be as talented but who hit hard. These aren't those guys. I mean, they are the next wave, and it's a very intriguing matchup. And Aspinall is coming off of a TKO finish of Marcin Tybura, and he's 4-1 in his last five, but that only one loss was a blowout of his knee. So he didn't even really lose. He got injured. And Pavlovich is 5-0. His only loss in MMA is against Alistair Overeem. That is a lot of information, but both of these guys are finishers. Aspinall is 100% finish rate in the UFC. Pavlovich has a 100% finish rate in the UFC. Jesse, what do you make of this fight?
Well, first off, good to see you, Timmy. You missed my introduction today, but I understand because you're so excited about.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, about these fights. Look, this is by far the toughest test of either fighter's career. By far, it's not even close. But I gotta say, God, coming 2 weeks notice for Aspinall is scary against this because Pavlovich was preparing to be ready as the backup fighter for Jones versus Miocic. So he did have a camp. Like, he was treating it like a normal fight camp, whereas Aspinall was not. But I think Aspinall...
Building off of that, just plugging my interview here, I asked Jailton Almeida who he likes in this fight, and he said specifically that. He said, listen, Aspinall, he was asking for Cyril Gane. He might have been training, but Pavlovich had the full camp. He was planning to be the backup. So, you know, he edged things in Pavlovich's favor because of that.
I'll say this, though. I don't think this is a normal situation where a guy's coming off of 2 weeks' notice. I mean, the guy's coming off of rehabbing his knee injury.
Mhm.
He just had a fight recently. So he's like in the past like 2 months. So he did have a fight camp recently. I think that Aspinall is going to be as prepared as you can possibly be on 2 weeks notice. And I feel like Aspinall is just a little bit more well-rounded of a fighter. I feel like this is one of those fights where it's like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very close on the margins. You cannot get caught by Pavlovich. But the thing is, you also can't get caught by Aspinall. Aspinall is a virtuoso striker, puncher specifically. His punching is like, if you watch him on the bags, I mean, the dude's awesome. But I think that if there's a situation where this fight gets to the ground, it sways heavily in Aspinall's favor. This is a coin flip, but I'm going with Aspinall, and I think that for the very specific reason that even though I think Pavlovich is the most dangerous man in the UFC, I think that Aspinall is destined to be the heavyweight champion for a long time. And I just really think that he's a special fighter, and I'm taking him.
I like what you're cooking a little bit. I like what you're cooking with, because you look at it on paper and it's like Pavlovich is going to win. If he's going to win, it's going to be a knockout, right? At some point, rounds 1 or 2. And I don't think Aspinall has ever lost by knockout. Sorry, he's lost by one. No, he hasn't. His one
knee.
knockout was the knee. So, obviously his chin is intact, but Aspinall has more ways to win. He can win by knockout. He can win by submission. If this fight goes to decision, I have a hard time seeing Aspinall losing, right? So
bet the under on rounds, though. I mean, I don't think this fight will not go to decision. Like, just clear. So,
round 3 is an unlikely proposition. To say that much.
Yeah. Who are you going with?
My pick. I'm going with Sergei Pavlovich.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to pick, but I'm going to go with Sergei Pavlovich because he's the pick in my ridiculous parlay that keep watching until the end of this video, because I have the most ridiculous 2-leg parlay that if you want to like literally 50x your money, you want to keep watching until the end of this video. All right, so we'll come back to that one.
Yeah.
Let's go to this main event, because this main event is absolutely crazy. These are 2 strikers. By the way, like, they just started their UFC careers, right? This is only Jiri Prochazka's 4th fight in the UFC, which is absolutely wild. The dude hasn't lost in 8 years, but he is coming back from a crazy shoulder injury, and he is a very slight underdog, all right?
Yeah.
Jiri Prochazka is a plus 105 underdog. Alex Pereira is a minus 125 favorite. So we do have a favorite here. And both guys, Jiri is 5-0 in his last fight. Obviously, he hasn't lost in 8 years, but he's only 3-0 in the UFC. It's kind of crazy that he's already been champion. He's going to be fighting for his belt again. This is a belt that he vacated because, by the way, that shoulder injury was no joke. I believe Dana White called it the worst shoulder separation that the UFC docs had seen.
Yeah.
So, that's something to take into consideration. Pereira, he's 4-1 in his last 5, with that one loss being the knockout down at middleweight in the rematch against Israel Adesanya. So, the lines have this very even. I don't know if I feel that way about it. Jesse, tell me what you're thinking.
I think we're leaning the same way here. And I think this is a much easier fight to bet personally, in my opinion. Yep. That's not to say that I'm guaranteeing anything. But I've noticed this. I've watched some videos, done some research on this. And in the fight against Dominic Reyes, Jiri Prochazka admits to being knocked out in that fight. Where he was basically by upkick, where he was out. And in the fight against Glover Teixeira, there's literally the famous, light heavyweight title fight that they had. There's literally like a minute-long sequence where Yuri's hands are basically just down at his hips, and Glover just is like tagging him with right hand, and hits him really hard. Straight punches that Jiri is doing nothing to defend. He's a chaotic fighter. He's a warrior, an absolute fucking warrior. He goes into the fire. He's not afraid to go in the fire. But that's not gonna work against Alex Pereira. The guy literally has nuclear bombs in his fists that, like, if he touches, Sean Strickland says, if he touches you, you just die. It's just like, it's like a death switch that gets turned on. And
touch of death.
Yeah, and I think that there obviously Prochazka has a lot of ways to win. He's a better ground game fighter. If this fight goes to the ground, Pereira is going to have some trouble. But I thought Pereira did a great job of defending the takedown against Jan Blachowicz. I think that he held his own in some of the grappling exchanges.
A lot of people.
Yeah, and I think he held his own in those grappling sequences. But I think that this fight has knockout win for Alex Pereira written all over it, and that's where my money is going. Is I think that especially coming off a shoulder injury, I don't know how sharp Jiri is going to be. Pereira is an active fighter. He just fought a few months ago. I feel like this is pretty great odds for Alex Pereira, if you ask me. Like, I think the odds are pretty excellent.
Yeah. Listen, there's so many things working against Prochazka's favor. The shoulder injury notwithstanding, he might not ever be the same. He's a very special fighter. I love all the weird things he does. One of my favorite tweets about this fight, I forgot who it was. I think it was Mac Malley, that guy. He was like, we shouldn't even have them walk out. Just unleash them in Madison Square Garden and have them hunt each other. Sort of like Alien versus Predator.
Oh, I love
style.
that.
Yeah, that would just be amazing.
Prochazka with samurai swords and Pereira with his bow and arrow.
Yep. I mean, it'd be incredible. They're both unique characters, but I cannot see any other, like every scenario I try to imagine Pereira losing. I just don't see it, because this is what Prochazka does in every single fight. He even got clipped by Uzdemir. He got clipped by Reyes. He got clipped by Glover Teixeira, because this is what he does. He puts his hands down. He puts them together. He like channels his chakras, and he leans forward.
Yeah.
You can't do that against Alex Pereira and expect to survive. So I really just, you're right. Pereira by knockout. I mean, that is the way that it happens. The question is when and how. You know, is it going to be that left hook, that touch of death, as Faraz Sahabi would describe it, that, you know, that most prolific knockout left hook in combat sports, or is it going to be a straight shot? You know, how is Pereira going to get the knockout? Because he's got a few ways to do it. But I really just don't think, and Glover is his trainer. Glover's throwing those very simple boxing 1-2 straight punches and rocking for Prochazka.
Yeah.
If Glover can do that, you bet your goddamn money Pereira is going to be able to do that.
We also got the added motivation for Pereira to avenge the loss for Glover too, which is just, that's working against Jiri. That being said, I have some little parlays here. Now you can do it in a variety of ways. If you're confident about knockouts, it's very small. But it's all very good return. But if you just want to bet like a money line, for example, Prochazka, if you just want to bet him on a straight upright, and then Aspinall by KO, you know, you're getting a plus 443. So 50
very
bucks.
Reasonable.
Yeah, $50 gets you what? Sorry, $10 gets you like $50 or $45 or something. But since I'm going with Aspinall and Pereira, where the hell is it? I have it in my notes somewhere. Okay. If you just take money line, you're getting plus 232. So $10 gets you 33. So if you bet like $1,000, that's $3,300. And I actually think that that's going to happen. So I actually really like the odds on just betting these outright. But I'm thinking that since Pereira, I believe in the knockout so confidently. Okay, so Pereira by KO, I'm adding it. And then I'm doing Aspinall on the money line. So those are probably the two most likely things to happen, but it's a plus 290. So I actually think that that's the bet I'm going to make, because I know that you have some crazy parlays, but I'm just thinking about like, what are the most likely outcomes? I feel like betting out, because like you said, Aspinall could win by submission. He could win by knockout. I think that that's a little bit harder to bet, but I think that Pereira, I think you and I agree that he's going to knock out Jiri Prochazka. That's my official prediction. So at a plus 290, I'm pretty confident in that, to put like $100 down, and you know, I get a what, 290 out 290 extra out of it. Not bad. Not bad at all.
That is a very reasonable, very likely to hit parlay. But
we live in an unreasonable world, Timmy.
I promise people to stick around to see this.
Yeah.
This is a 2-leg parlay with an outcome that I feel like these are very feasible to happen. So it's not like, I'm picking, something insane like, Alex Pereira to win by flying armbar. It's not like I'm picking something that's impossible to happen here, but this is a 2-leg parlay. This is why I told you to keep watching. So listen to this, plus 38,850 on a 2-leg parlay. Okay. What does that mean? That means if you put down $100, you win $38,950. Okay. If you put down $1,000, you're winning $380,000.
You can buy a house.
You can buy a house.
Yeah.
Probably not in Los Angeles, but you can buy a house. You can buy a really big house in Tennessee. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
My 2-leg parlay is Sergei Pavlovich to win by KO in round 2. My logic is that, Sergey has some round 2 KOs, and I think Aspinall is too tough to be finished in the first round. I don't think
I like
Sergey's not going to be bulldozing Tom Aspinall because Tom Aspinall is too good. But you know what? It only takes one. I could even see a scenario where Sergei Pavlovich loses the first round and then just finds that right hand that he has.
Like
Here's the real kicker. Gem.
I'm scared. Like my heart is racing right now.
Alex Pereira is gonna win, but you have to get into such details, that it gives you plus 4,000. Alex Pereira to win by knockout is a plus 4,000. How is that even possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. You have to get really specific in the time. Alex Pereira to win between the 4th minute and the end of round 2. Okay. So him by knockout, but he has to win in the last minute, the 4-minute mark until the end of the round. If he knocks out Jiri Prochazka in that time frame, it's a plus 4,000. And Pavlovich to win by KO in round 2 is a plus 850. So there you have it.
Okay.
A plus 38,850.